Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be joining the Right Here, Right Now Global Youth Climate Summit. My name is Ana Mejia and I'm Technical Advisor for the Red Cross Red Crescent Climate Center. Today I will be presenting from Quito, Ecuador, which is the country where I'm based, and it's amazing to be talking with you about youth in climate action perspectives from the humanitarian work. In that way, first I will present the agenda that I prepared for today's session. I will start with explaining a bit of the youth-led climate action strategy that the Climate Center has. That is a very important framework that we use in our work. Then I will be presenting three main initiatives that we uh, created to incorporate youth-led climate action. The first is the Climate and Youth Summit, an initiative that we do every single year. I will explain a bit of the Youth Advisory Group and how it is important for our internal work, and the Why Adapt initiative to foster different spaces for education and action among young volunteers of the Red Cross Red Crescent movement. Then I will jump in to share a bit of the IFRC Limitless Youth Innovation Academy, an initiative of the International Federation of the Red Cross Red Crescent movement. And I will close this sharing a bit of the different internship opportunities that we have in case any of you are interested in to apply to this. First is the Red Cross Red Crescent strategy on youth-led climate action. This is an initiative of the Red Cross Red Crescent Climate Center in order to uh, ensure that youth are meaningfully engaged and that they have a proper framework to incorporate climate action in their different activities. It is important to mention and highlight that the Red Cross Red Crescent Network is a volunteer-based organization. So we have 181 national Red Cross and Red Crescent societies across the world, and most of the volunteers that engage in these spaces are young people, and that's why it was one of the main reasons that having a strategy to ensure youth-led climate action was important. So this strategy was created for youth, by youth, and in a series of consultations and surveys and different virtual engagements between 2020 and 2021, the different inputs that we received, we were able to came up with this strategy with the support of over 1,200 youth and from different backgrounds. So we ensure a representation across regions. The consultations were made in English, French, Spanish, and Arabic. And one of the main conclusions that I want to highlight is that youth from the Red Cross and Red Crescent Network are eager and ready to act. So one of the main barriers that they face and that we identify from the strategy were related to the sense of urgency. They felt that there is this space and they need to act to challenge the situations and to change things in their communities affected by climate. However, they lack awareness on how to start or what was the best way to approach it. It is related to the access of information and knowledge that were a gap around how to access adequate available climate information and training in climate change so they can be prepared to tackle different challenges that they may face in their different activities, which is linked to having an enabled environment that sometimes their spaces were not sufficient with proper information and tools so they can keep promoting their actions and fostering and raising their voice in different spaces that are related to advocacy and how they can influence the decisions within their own national societies of the Red Cross and Red Crescent, but also in different spaces in their own countries. So with all of this in mind, we establish three dimensions of change that help us to understand how we can foster, how we can promote, and how we can support youth-led climate action within the Red Cross and Red Crescent network. These dimensions of change are related to awareness, action, and advocacy. Awareness to understand climate change impact. This is really, really important because once they have the proper tools, the proper knowledge, the proper um, so resources, they can better understand and they can better uh, keep promoting climate action. So within this dimension of change, we really encourage them to educate themselves, but also educate others. Not only gain this knowledge, but also share it within their peers, their fellow volunteers, and their different people in their own national society, but also in the communities, and also inspire their own Red Cross or Red Crescent local society to start promoting different connections at a national level to ensure that climate education is properly tackled and discussed. And this led us to the space of action. So we consider that taking practical action is very important and that youth have all the commitment and passion to do this. So the main insights related to this are inspire youth to take action, not only in an individual way, but in a support, but with the support of their fellow volunteers, their peers, um, so they can start promoting projects at the local level to support their own communities. Because we know that youth has amazing ideas, and it's very important to foster this, and also action in supporting the incredible efforts that at a national or local level the Red Cross or Red Crescent national societies are already doing. So that's very important for us. And finally is advocacy. So how we ensure that youth has a seat in the table and help shape different policies or decision-making processes, and that's really important. So we also encourage them to inspire and influence um, different decisions in their own national societies. So the voices of youth are acknowledged and recognized. Through these three dimensions of change, we expect and we encourage that youth can have a meaningful participation in the climate space within the Red Cross and Red Crescent network. Last year, we did a consultation, a global survey, to understand more about how they are integrating their different elements within this strategy and how they are translating actually these into actions. So we hope this year to publish the results of the survey and potentially update the strategy with some of the insights of youth that gave us in this survey. Now, that was the main framework that we use in order to ensure participation and climate youth-led action. And this takes me to the other initiative that we did every year, that is the Climate and Youth Summit, an initiative that is really close to me, as I've been participating this first as a volunteer, and then I get enrolled in the organizing team, and I've been learning a lot myself. So in the Climate and Youth Summit, what we do is that we want to foster a space for engagement, inclusion, learning, and of course, action. Having these three dimensions of change in mind around awareness, action, and advocacy, we want to amplify the voice of young change makers and help to establish connections across different networks through discussions, skills-based workshops, that help us to showcase successful projects that young people, young volunteers from the Red Cross Red Crescent movement are uh, doing and are championing in their own communities. This initiative, it's going to be 5 years old this year. This year we are celebrating our fifth anniversary. And it has been a really nice journey to offer a platform for not only for volunteers of the different Red Cross, Red Crescent national societies that can apply to host a session in the summit, but also to open the space to other different younger organizations that can come in and share their own experience, their own tools and pathways in order of how they are dealing with meaningfully incorporate youth in this space. So right now we are working together with the International Federation of Red Cross Red Crescent Societies and also the Global Youth Mobilization, that is an alliance of the big six global youth organizations, which the IFRC is part of. And we want to make this connection, build these bridges for youth to engage with different perspectives and learn, and also in order to ensure that we are incorporating a youth perspective in this process, we establish a youth steering committee. So this youth steering committee will be advising and the organization of the event, how we set the theme of the event, how we are choosing the agenda, and how we can promote and meaningfully engage youth in this. So this is the second time, the second year that we are incorporating a youth steering committee. In the picture, you can see the youth steering committee members of this year as we are preparing for the summit. The summit will take place in September, so you can check our social media for further information if you want to join us. And I'm really, really happy to be part of the organizing team this year as well. Well, moving forward, here is the Youth Advisory Group, an initiative that we have to incorporate youth perspectives into internal work within the Climate Center. In that way, the Youth Advisory Group, these amazing young leaders that you are seeing on your screen, are the body that advise the implementation and monitoring of the Red Cross Red Crescent strategy on youth-led climate action that I previously presented. So they advise on how we can strengthen the communication of the strategy, the dissemination of the strategy, how we ensure that these reach young people working on the ground, and how we can keep promoting this engagement. The other element is related to work closely with the International Federation of Red Cross Red Crescent Secretariat and also the Youth Commission to build these different bridges across different young representatives of different regions so we can enrich discussions around climate action and work together in order to keep promote and foster and support different young people that are working on the ground. And this is related to increase knowledge exchange among the Red Cross Red Crescent network. As you can see, we work very close within the different Red Cross Red Crescent local national societies and also the International Federation of the Red Cross Red Crescent to ensure that young people are well represented, are well supported, and that can have an active role in climate action. Okay, now moving forward, now that I gave you a framework of the strategy that we have around youth-led climate action and also the different spaces for youth participation, I want to share with you our special tool that is called Y-Adapt. Y-Adapt is a curriculum for young people that helps them to have an understanding on what is climate change and how they can take practical action to adapt to it and uh, build a project within their communities. This project is being our emblem to promote youth-led climate action, and yeah, it's been amazing to work on this and to share this initiative with you. So, what is Y-Adapt? Y-Adapt is a curriculum, as I mentioned before, that is based in different games and activities to help young people understand first climate change. Once they understand climate change, they can assess and identify the different risks and capacities that their own communities have so they can enable action. In that way, they are within the implementation of the different Y-Adapt modules, they establish a local project that they can uh, put into action. So after that, they can share this initiative to the world. So through this different process, we ensure that young people have the proper tools and the proper information to understand climate change, that they can have an active role and promote different projects within their communities, but also within their local Red Cross Red Crescent societies. And we are building this strong network of young leaders that are championing climate action. So, what is Y-Adapt today, where we are right now? To date, we have implemented YADAPT over 30 countries, and you can click and you can scan the QR code that you are seeing on your screen if you want to learn a bit more of YADAPT, if you want to check the different guidelines that we have. This has been translated into 7 languages to ensure that we are accessing young people of different regions, and we are moving towards a more regional training. So we look forward to have and expand this representation that you are seeing in the screen to really uh, make this element and this tool accessible for young people that are working in the ground within their communities. In that way, Wire Up has been our main project, our main goal to foster this youth-led climate adaptation. And well, as I mentioned before, we are supporting different youth-led initiatives that they are creating, innovating in the ground. I wanted to connect and showcase a bit of different projects that young people of the Red Cross Red Crescent Network are championing right now. This is an initiative of the International Federation Red Cross Red Crescent Societies, is the Limitless Youth Innovation Academy. This initiative has been created in order to establish global initiatives to unlock power and impact that young and voluntary-driven innovation at the local level can foster. This initiative, we are one of the supporters of the initiative, broadly supporting uh, young people that are innovating around climate action. Through this initiative, uh, they were provided by seed funding, personalized mentorship, continuous training, and peer support networks so they can enable innovation, they can design, they can prototype, test these prototypes in their communities, and start again shaping an initiative that can foster resilience around climate action, that can foster education, and that can help enhance and build more sustainable spaces. We, as the Climate Center, we are as one of the supporters of this. We've been really involved in different mentorship processes, in the judging process of the different initiatives, and also supporting through mentorship, as I mentioned before. It has been a very interesting process to witness how young people with the proper platform can innovate and can shape really incredible projects. So in this table that you are seeing now are the 3 main winners of the Limitless Youth Innovation Academy. You can scan the QR code if you want to have more information about Limitless projects and more information about the different initiatives that are around. I just wanted to showcase and present a bit of these 3 incredible initiatives. One of the main winners is from Ecuador, from the Red Cross Society of China, and from Nigerian Red Cross. They have different approaches. All of these are youth-led initiatives. And for me, it's a reminder on the power of youth, the power of young people's ideas, that passion to showcase their capacities, but also to put their capacities to support their own communities that are suffering from the different impacts of climate change. Yeah, just a reminder that these spaces like this summit are important to have these conversations, to get inspired, but also to came back to our own spaces and question ourselves how we can keep supporting youth-led climate action and how we can make changes to ensure that they are meaningfully engaged and that we give them the proper tools, the proper spaces, the proper support so they can thrive like these amazing people here. Okay, this came to the end of our presentation. I'm really happy to have the space to share a bit in a really quick snapshot of how we are promoting young-led climate action within the humanitarian work and why this is important to support these kind of initiatives. Now, I wanted to share the internship opportunities that we have as the Climate Center. So if you are interested in support any of these projects, you can express your interest at the link that is presented there. You can scan the QR code and it will redirect you to the internship webpage. So all the internship opportunities are explained there. It has been really cool to be part of this summit. I really want to thank you, the organizers, for giving us this space for us. And if you want to stay in touch with me, there you have my contact information. I'm always open to support and collaborate so we can keep fostering together a meaningful engagement of youth in climate action. Thank you so much.